Hi, welcome to Tendoc Talks about the Power Rangers role-playing game. You might notice that I have a bit of a change of venue. Today I'm going to test out some new equipment that I have for making videos, and if this works out well, this will be how I do them moving forward. So if you like the way this looks, let me know. Yesterday I said that Across the Stars would be coming out, a new supplement for the Power Rangers role-playing game. It's another manual that adds more features to the game. It is almost as large as the core handbook, with a similar number of pages. So I'm not going to be able to go over absolutely everything in one video. As a quick preview, I'll say it has new roles, it has new influences, new origins, new Zords, new perks, new grid powers, new threats, new allies. It has a lot of new material. What I'm going to do is just take one thing to talk about today, and that is the Gold Ranger, because there are 3 new roles introduced to the game. He's 1, followed by Silver, and then Phantom. Now, the Gold Ranger's specialty is defense. In its description, it says that they protect the team, and that they're designed to take surprising amounts of punishment in a fight. They are an advanced spectrum, which means you need to take the advanced spectrum perk. Certain origins will allow you to take a perk at first level, so this is something that you might be able to do. Just make sure you check with your GM, because they might not be ready to take on the advanced rule set of a spectrum like this. So make sure that you have them in mind when you're dreaming up who you want your character to be. Now, the Gold Ranger specializes in strength and social skill, but none of his abilities really use those in their calculation. A lot like the Red Ranger in the core rules, the social increases are just so that you can be a better leader and roleplay that out. There aren't really any abilities that require you to make a check like that. They get a maximum of 10 personal power capacity, much like a Red Ranger. Let's talk about some of the things that make it unique. Now, the book describes it as being in between a Black and Red Ranger, at least maybe not mechanically, but lore-wise, whereas a Black Ranger is a stalwart defender, and the Red Ranger is a powerful leader. That's the Gold Ranger kind of does both things. Their offensive potential is okay. It's not bad by any means, but they really shine in defense. They are specialized in light, medium, and heavy armor, and they get at first level they get +1 athletics, +1 might, and +1 persuasion. So you don't get any customization where those things are supposed to go. Your 2 points of increase in strength go to might and athletics, and your 1 in social has to go to persuasion. So if you want different skills, then you just go ahead and fill that out with the essence points that you would get after character creation. Now, great equipment. They do start off with a morpher and a personal communicator, just like every Power Ranger. But they don't start off with a blade blaster. They start off with a laser blaster, and it is a bit different. But basically, it's a sidearm laser energy damage. They also get to start off with a versatile power weapon, which is no different than, say, a Red Ranger would. Now, they have the option to trade in that power weapon and instead go for a golden power staff. Oh, sorry. You have to trade in both the versatile power weapon and the laser blaster to get the golden power staff. I guess that makes sense. If you want to play the Gold Ranger as represented by Trey of Triforia, then he had the golden staff. But some of the other Gold Rangers from different series had everything from swords to blasters to just, to daggers to really big fists. They get the It's Morphin' Time ability, and it does exactly what all of those abilities do normally. Okay, now first level they have an ability called Hardened Armor, and this is the real meat and potatoes of this class and what it does. At first level they get a basically +1 toughness. And every few levels that goes up. So it's +2 toughness by 4th level, +3 by 8th level, +4 by 12th level, all the way up to +5 at 16th level. So your heavy armor, which is already giving you a +4, then this gives you at 20th level, well, at 16th level, +5 on top of that. Hardened armor does more than increase your toughness, however, because after something hits you, as long as it wasn't blunt or sharp damage, you gain resistance to that damage type until, actually for the remainder of the scene. And resistance means anybody who targets you with a particular attack type, like fire or cold or acid, they roll snag against you. If it's something they have to roll accuracy on. If it's not, then you just take half damage. So whatever is attacking you, you gain resistance to that thing for the rest of the scene, which is awesome. Now, the Gold Ranger and, as you'll find out, the Silver Ranger and Phantom Ranger, they get access to their Zord at level 1. Now, I don't know what the implication of that is. I really doubt. If you have a Gold Ranger in your party and you're starting at level 1, it's up to you whether or not you want to have like a giant monster encounter where one of you is in the Zord and everybody else is on foot. Otherwise, you can just kind of hold off on this for a little bit. But there it is. They gain access to it immediately. And then, of course, they get Zord perks at 3rd level, 6, 10, 14, and 17, just like a lot of other Rangers do. At 2nd level, they get an ability called Golden Guardian. This lets you protect teammates if an attack hits an ally right next to you. You can spend a power point to intercept the attack and take it yourself. Now, you do have to suffer whatever was going to happen to them. If it was a crit, then they take a crit. If it's a miss, it's a miss. If it's damage, it's damage. You can't do anything else to prevent the effect. Whether or not you have an ability that lets you do that or not, you are taking what they would have taken. They get general perks just like every Ranger at 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th level. And they get extra attacks starting at 5th level, allowing them to attack twice. They get to attack 3 times when they reach 15th level, and this ability, just like everybody else's ability, only works while they're morphed and while they're fighting as an individual, which is what they mean by fighting as an individual. There are certain times where you roll an attack check together, like when you collect all your weapons into a big blaster. That ability wouldn't work here. He gets a grid power at 6th level, 11th level, and 16th level, just like any other Power Ranger does. At 7th level, he has an ability called Stand Behind Me. And what it allows you to do is at the beginning of the round, while you're morphed, you can spend a power point to force all enemies within 60 feet to target. It requires them to include you as a target in their attacks unless they succeed on a difficulty 14 alertness skill test. They are still allowed to attack everyone with an area of effect move, but if they're taking a single shot, and that's the only way you can be a target, then they have to target you. So this will allow your whole team a short reprieve, provided they don't beat a DC 14 alertness test. At 9th level, you get CounterStrike, which begins to combine with some of your future abilities. But here's what it does at base. So remember that Golden Guardian ability in the very beginning where you can immediately spend a power point to cause yourself to be the target of the attack and take the damage? Well, CounterStrike lets you make an immediate single attack against the foe who attacked your teammate. Now, there are limitations to this, of course. Like, you do have to be able to reach that foe. So if they attacked with a ranged weapon and you don't have a ranged weapon back, there's nothing you can do. But you can do this without a PowerPoint. Because it takes a PowerPoint to use Golden Guardian. But once you do, you can immediately CounterStrike, which is awesome. It's revenge for attacking your friends. At 11th level, you gain Resilience, which is the ability to stand firm. While morphed, when you are targeted by an attack that you are aware of, you can spend a power point and roll your athletics skill die. Add the skill die result to all of your defenses until the start of your next turn. You might remember this ability called Sidestep that the Pink Ranger has and the Red and I think Green Ranger has, where they roll their acrobatics skill die and then they get to increase their evasion defense. This is a little different. This is athletic skill die, and it's all defenses, so it's just a straight buff, which is awesome. Remember, in the Power Rangers role-playing game, reactions aren't a thing. Like in Dungeons & Dragons, you had one reaction per round. This game does not have that limitation. If something says you can use it in reaction to something else, you can just do it. Alright, at 13th level you get MultiCounter, which augments your counter ability, which augments your Golden Guardian ability. Basically, what it does, it lets you intercept any number of attacks targeting adjacent allies, such as a villain who can make multiple attacks or attacks from multiple targets in a round. You can counter-strike each strike you intercept. So instead of just one, you can counter all of them if you really want. At level 18, you get Splinter Defense. Basically, your Golden Ranger shell becomes so dense and so durable that a creature who attacks you with a melee attack automatically suffers an initiative penalty equal to your hardened armor roll perk. So if it's 5, they take a 5 initiative penalty. If you're level 1, well, you wouldn't be level 1 because this is a level 18 ability, so by then you are level 5. Now there is the stipulation that it can only affect each target once per combat scene. But this is bad news for game masters who maybe get initiative one time and then forget what the number was. Now we're going to have to remember what the numbers are so that we can reduce it. Remember, in the Power Rangers role-playing game, if you don't like your initiative, you can spend a move action to roll initiative again. And then from then on, you will take your initiative at that point, which is pretty cool. I've never seen a system do this, and it's awesome. Alright, and at level 20, you get Gold Ranger Prime, which gives you +2 to all defenses, which is standard across every Ranger. You deal an additional point of damage on Megaform Zord attacks that your Zord is a part of, and you have edge on strength skill tests. The Gold Ranger does not get bonus damage to his attacks, so you're gonna have to beef him up some other way. You just do more damage on Megaform. I think you all know how I feel about Zords, so I won't belabor the point. But this is a very solid character for someone who wants to be a bastion of defense. There's so much more to look at and to discuss in this book. So if you want to know whether or not you should buy it, stay tuned. We'll go over it all.